Let's see if this works. Right. Hello and welcome to... hell. Okay. Let's see how this goes. It's the first time I'm doing this. Hopefully it works out. Hopefully. Firstly, thank you to everybody who has liked and subscribed to this page. This has grown far quicker than I ever thought it was going to. This year has been insane. Now, we've only been pushing for the sort of last 9 months, so it's been a little bit of a whirlwind. I mean, obviously we've had lots and lots of very cool cars in, and the reason that I make all the effort to film all of this is because we do it for you. I mean, I do it day in, day out, and I absolutely love it. We want to grow this channel. We want to show you what we do. We want you to show you our journey and something that's very, very particular, like dealing in this sort of 80s, 70s, 60s, 90s, Mercs, German, this car culture that's now coming on because these cars are now finally having their heyday. And I've been into these since as a kid, and now it's just so good seeing them come on so far. And I'm so glad that all you guys love it so much too. And that's why we want to take you along with the journey, because it's so much fun. And hopefully it comes across like that. And hopefully you enjoy this journey too. Thank you very much for liking and subscribing first. This has been an epic first year. But we have literally only just begun. Now, let's get back to it. Right, we've had many cool cars in this year. So what we're gonna do, this is gonna be our sort of top 5. But I have to specify, it's so difficult because we've had so much cool stuff in. We're going to break it down into the cars that we have sold, not the cars that we have in stock at the moment, not our own cars like the E28, the 21 and the E30 up top, that Audi over there. There's lots of really, really cool stuff that we have in at the moment, like that black SL. And they're going to be coming up next year. The blue 108, which ironically we just sold. I literally just sold that yesterday, and that thing's unbelievable. The silver 108, what an incredible car that was. And there's just a list of cars that we've gone through this year have just been absolutely insane. And I don't want to pull those into this top 5, but this top 5 is the ones that are not necessarily the most expensive. Well, they aren't, but they're just the cool ones. Now, let me clarify, right? You don't have to have an expensive old car for it to be cool. I started doing these when they were I paid £400 for my first 124 Coupe back when I was 22. Those days are gone, because now everybody's realizing how cool these things really are and how usable. So you can actually use the things, which is insane. So this has nothing to do with price. This is just my opinion of what I thought was the best cars that we've had in. We're gonna start with number 5, the E38 728. Now, this car was an individual color with an individual interior. I absolutely love it. I love big 7s. Do I think that the E38 is probably the best built BMW of all time? Possibly, very possibly. That and the E39, they're just incredible. And that car sat right. The color was insane. The interior was perfect. Those OEM style 95s, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure the style 95s just look so good. And it was on BCs. That car I drove for 2,000 miles. Now, I have a school run that on a Monday morning is 60 miles each way. I take my classics when the weather allows up on that Monday morning. And that car I used constantly when it was in. It just looks so good, so effortlessly cool. E38s still haven't had the day yet. They're coming though, and that car was number 5 on our list. Number 4. Now, this is a difficult one because I love old Benzes, and the silver R129 that we sold to a dude up north, and he was such a dude. He bought it before it even hit sale. That car was absolutely incredible. Old Mercs, especially 90s stuff, spec is everything. Silver on black, absolutely the way forward. That was a facelift car, because they do 3, so they had a pre-facelift, a mid, and a full facelift. That was latter. It came with that lovely V6. It was silver on black, effortlessly cool. It was on AMG monoblocks. They were staggered. It just looked amazing. The silver on silver, so understated. It was incredible, and I absolutely love that car. That's number 4 on our list. Number 3, and one that's very, very dear to me, right? The green E28. Now, I don't know how long you guys have been following me, but I used to own a company before that used to do competitions after we built cars, and that was the first car that we comped. It was like way back when, before all these competition things started. I gave away t-shirts, you got a free ticket, and then you could have won that car. That car went to a guy very, very local, and I ended up seeing it all the time. Crazy story. He went out in a lash the night that we done the competition, couldn't really get hold of him. I thought, my God, this guy's won the car, and he couldn't get hold of him. And Dave turned out to be an absolute legend. But I had the phone call back in April, and he was like, look, I'm selling the car. It's going to an auction house. I was ill at the time. I got out of bed, drove down here in my sliders, and paid the man the money, because that thing is ridiculous. Now, it needed a little bit of TLC when we had it, but nothing major. I drove it about thinking, I can't sell it, but obviously I've got an E28 and this one has an S54. This is my ideal BMW. So there was no room for it in my life, otherwise I would have kept it. But that car was so incredible. It was the start of my story with my old business. I pulled it out of a barn, literally, and then we built it, and then it just came back round, and then I ended up selling to a guy that just like absolutely loved it. And I hope to see it in the future. I hope to see it in the future. That'll be epic, and we'll do another video on it, like a proper video. That car is number 3 on our list. Number 2 and number 1 was a very, very hard choice, and they're both connected in a weird way. When I first started this ages and ages ago, I was selling cars from my house, and I sold a 124 estate with a set of 17s on them. Those 17s are the wheels that are on the number 1 car. When I sold that car, those wheels went to a dude, and that dude ended up buying the number 2 car. The number 2 car is a 123 Wagon. Now, this car, could you get more period correct? The owner of it, who's Jason, absolutely ridiculous taste. This dude is an interior designer, a big one up in London. He's just got incredible taste, and this car just shows it. And that car was absolutely incredible. On a set of Pentas, on the big Avon tires, sitting at the right height, sweet little AMG lip, but it was a 280 with a green interior, silver on green. I cannot stress that spec is everything with old Mercedes and old BMWs, and that car was like the perfect spec. I used to drive that thing round, and it was the car that got the most attention. I mean, like, the UK loves a wagon anyway. Number 2 was the 123 Wagon, and that's gone to Scotland. And the guy that owns it was an absolute boss. He flew down, jumped in it, turnkey, drove the thing all the way home. He's keeping it forever. The guy's a legend, and that car was insane. Car number 1, right. Out of all the lists that I have here, car number 1 was the cheapest of them all, but for me, the coolest. Like I said earlier on in this video, you don't have to have the most expensive car for it to be cool. But that 124 was the perfect example of a usable classic, that modified subtly you can use every day. That car I used every day. I kept it for a bit. I was intending on keeping it for a long time, but unfortunately I change cars all the time. It was a 220 Coupe on a set of 17-inch E500 Elegance wheels. Now, they look like the Elegance wheels on a 211 anyway, and loads of people ask me where to get those wheels from. They specifically came on an E500 Elegance. Silver on silver. You just can't go wrong. That car had a black interior, and that car also sold before it hit Instagram. The key is here, guys, if you see something on our Insta, we've always put on our Insta first before it hits eBay. They always sell. They always sell before they hit eBay, and the SL and the E220 did. But that silver car was incredible. I absolutely adored it, just because it was just effortlessly cool. And they are, and they're dailyable, they're usable. They're absolutely usable. You can jump in that car in the wintertime, use it every day. Heated seats, it was lovely. That is our number 1 car for this year. That was a difficult one. We have loads coming up this year too. We bought a drift car. So I'm gonna learn to drift and take you along on the journey with us. I'm gonna take this on track, which is what it was built for initially, but I struggled to find insurance for it. Luckily, I found a company that's able to do it, which is gonna be incredible. We're gonna do a few road trips with friends, which I can't wait. We're gonna film all of that. I'm gonna do more car reviews. Gonna try and do reviews on your cars. Not in a DMO style. I don't want things that are absolutely wild, even though I do like stuff that is wild. But I also want to do the cool stuff as well. I want to do stuff shot in a really, really cool way, which is what we're going to concentrate on next year. So if you got something cool, we'll be able to show it to the world too. And I love this. I mean, like, I think number one, with all of this, these are all part of me. I love them all. I'm a massive car guy, and I just want to take you along the journey with me. 1,500-pound M4 Challenge, we have been absolutely flat out, but I'm gonna fire that thing back up. Still got that fucking 309, but I'm gonna fire it back up. It's almost ready for MOT, get that gone. That done really well, that first vid, but we've just been so busy, so I haven't been able to squeeze it in. But next year, I will, because this year, I've had a hand for the last 6 months putting up all these videos, because Dav has been right by my side and pushing it all the way. So all these edits that you see in here and all the videos, Dav has been doing. So a massive thank you to Dav, and that he is allowing us to be able to bring this to you. So I really appreciate you, mate. I think that's pretty much it. I want to do more new car reviews as well, which would be quite cool. We did the M5 this year. That M5 video was absolutely ridiculous. Thank you, Jack, for giving me a hand with that too. It's been an epic year. I've been blown away by the amount of interest all you guys have had. I love this. I do it every day. I love it. Cars are my life. But being able to bring you along with it, even cooler. And I don't care what you drive. I don't care what you like. As long as you like what we do and you give us support and it brings a little bit of something to you, then that's all we're looking for. Thank you very much for following, liking and subscribing us this year. Make sure you follow us on all our platforms. Our new website's gonna go live next year. We're gonna start doing commission sales. We've already done a few this year, but we got so much in the pipeline for the barn next year to try and grow this channel, platform, whatever it leads into. Thank you very much, guys. Hope you have a great holidays. Take care.